Okay, guys, I want to talk about a corollary to my recent video on why I buy real estate using two real examples from this year with real numbers. So these are two fourplexes that I bought in Pueblo West, Colorado, and these two. I wish I could have bought all five, but it was different owner for the other three. So we bought these two from the same seller and bought them each at 575. And to be clear, I own these with a partner, so they're only 50% mine. And I want to really drive home where the value comes from, where the meaningful, addition to my net worth comes from, as opposed to some small amount of monthly cash flow. And, if you're trying to retire right now, what you want might be different. And so I'm really just sharing what the value in buy and hold real estate is for me and how I think about it. You're welcome to disagree and feel free to tell me if you do in the comments. So these were my preliminary numbers that I ran. I just copy and paste these from a long spreadsheet looking at different purchase prices and different scenarios as far as payment. And this is what I was projecting. So rate ended up being a little bit higher, but it worked out where this is exactly correct pretty much because one building is slightly lower and one building is slightly higher because I overestimated here. So this is very much the average between the two mortgage payments for the two fourplexes. And then this is very, very accurate. I overestimated trash a little bit, but whatever. CapEx, repairs, management. And then this was the rents. These were the rents day one for the first building. So really no cash flow right off the bat. And the second building was very, very similar to this number wise, but these were poorly managed. And that's the case for most real estate or rental real estate in this market. It's commutable to a huge, huge military base in Colorado Springs, a huge Air Force base, these massive prisons in Canyon City where a lot of people work and commute because nobody really lives there. So the tenants here go to government jobs every day. And that is a big plus, and those are only expanding because it looks like the Space Force is going to be headquartered at Schriever Air Force Base, the Air Force base I was mentioning that people commute to from here in Colorado Springs. So I'm very bullish on this market in the long run. And so all that to say, this was an opportunity in my mind. It's 2024, interest rates are high, the market is slow, multifamily isn't trading. In the frenzy we're in, these were trading at 650, 675. There are really no comps recently, but I'm sure it would still sell at 600 or 625, maybe even 650 on market. So we got a bit of equity just in having bought under market. But the real value comes from the slow and steady turning of the units and pushing rents. So all of the units are now leased. We just got the word the final one was this morning at 1395, or no, excuse me, 1375. And so we're not at 6,000 yet. We are at like 5,200 or 5,300 per building, or maybe 54. I don't remember. But point being, the value here is we're planting long-term seeds where we'll slowly make the units nicer and nicer and get rents up and up and up to this and probably higher. I'm sure in the next 3, 5, 6 years, we'll be able to refinance. We're at 7.3% for one and 7.625 for the other. And this number will go down. And I mean, realistically, this market has such supply restriction. It is almost impossible to build multifamily. They just passed a couple more laws making it even harder. And so nobody is building multifamily. So I bet this number will go higher, especially as we make the units nicer. But day one, we're going to do cost seg on these this year and take, and again, 50-50. So half of that will go to my return and half of that will go to my partner's return. But that'll be a substantial tax savings. Again, these numbers are approximate. This is straight from my cost seg guy quoting it. So it would come out to about 70K in tax savings, a little bit more. But really what is powerful here is the depreciation year one and then the immediate equity we got by buying it below market, plus the appreciation we expect over the next 5, 10, 15 years because of the factors driving this market. It's commutable to Colorado Springs. There's a lot of manufacturing, high-end manufacturing, chips and that sort of thing coming to Colorado Springs. Space Force is growing because it's being headquartered there, right? There's a lot of factors driving more and more people with high-paying jobs to the area, and this market is almost impossible to bring on new multifamily. And so there's restrictions to supply, there's growing demand, there aren't a lot of competent operators doing business here. And so all that to say, it gives us an opportunity to buy these while interest rates are really high at a discount from where they were trading, poorly managed, where we can get the rents up, refi down the road, and whether or not we want to trade these or keep these in 5, 6, 7 years, I guarantee you this number will be higher. And we're not even to the 6,000 yet, but this number will be higher, and we'll have gotten this number lower, and the value will probably be in the sevens, eights, who knows? But that's really where you get wealthy over time, buying and holding real estate. I did a video on Carousel Lane case study, I think I called it, where it makes me about $1,000 a month. But what's meaningful is I have $200,000 of equity in that with almost no money in it because it was a house hack years and years ago. And I've used a line of credit to flip land with that. And so that one house has made me a ton of money collectively, not because of the cash flow, but because of the other factors: appreciation, in this case, immediate equity of probably 25 to 50. So I know this is really general and vague. I'm not giving really concrete numbers and percentages because that's just not reality with small real estate, small residential real estate. If you're buying 100-unit apartment buildings, okay, you can get really clear, concrete projections that do actually come out to be reality. But if you're looking at running numbers on houses or 8 units like this, you can't really get accurate projections because it's not a large enough number to get a regression to the mean, right? Over the course of 10 or 20 years, it'll average out. But what happens any given day, any given year? You could have a huge CapEx expense that erases all cash flow for years, or you might have 3 years with little to no repairs. You don't know. And so that's why I like these back of napkin numbers where, okay, huge supply restriction here, demand is continually, slowly, but continually growing. Huge upside in rents from where we are. We bought well below what these things have traded for historically. Can save some money on taxes this year. Strongly expect appreciation because of those supply and demand factors I mentioned. And it will cash flow slowly as we get this down in time, get these all the way up, right? So there's a ton of leverage points to drive value both immediately and into the future. And so this is why I buy and hold real estate. Let me know what you think.